Well, Duncan was a thriving little community at one time. There was a general store, 2 churches, a blacksmith shop, a school.
I always say it's the closest place to heaven on earth.
I have deep roots in the community of the Beaver Valley because I married Ralph McGuire, and he's the great-great-grandson of Richard, the first settler. Richard came from Ireland in, I think it was 1834, I'm not sure, but Russell McGuire, his son, was the first mail carrier, and he carried mail walking from Barrie to Owen Sound.
On a farm outside of Heathcote in a little community we called Quiet Valley. Well, I think it really started as a mill of some sort at Heathcote, and they had the farmers. There was at least 2 general stores. I think there were 3 stores at one time. There was an inn, and it was pretty much a hub of the community for a long time. Churches galore, Anglican, Presbyterian, Methodist. Saturday we'd go down to Clarksburg and groceries at Brown's. There was 3 different grocery stores on the main street. Elementary school, I went to Quiet Valley Public School, and it was exactly the same as when my father went there. And with the big sort of furnace kind at the back of the room and the pipe going across for heat, and the desks were the fold seats with the separate part, and it was all bolted to the floor, and teacher's desk was at the front. And when I graduated, there were 11 kids in the whole school. But the community center and the churches were the hubs, because the churches all had ladies groups and quilting groups, and the quilters would meet at one another's home and so on. But the churches had more social activity, and the community center was where whatever happened, there'd be a gathering of some kind, a lot of dances. I just remember it was go, and there were always friends and lots to do, and of course there were fights. And one year, I don't know how they did it, but some of the boys put a wagon up on top of Green's store on Halloween. Another Halloween, they painted Mrs. McQuarrie's cow white.
And my grandfather, great-grandfather, Alexander McEwen, was one of the first settlers in Duncan. So I guess we're all old-timers, yeah. It was quite a thriving community. Everybody were farmers. Every 100 acres had a farmer living on it, and it was a bustling little place. Oh, just fun playing with my older brother. We had a little creek ran through our property, and we spent most of our summer down there playing, and just things like that.
Well, I'll start with being born and raised in the community of Duncan. I was raised on a farm. My best friends were 4-legged animals, and I guess some of them had 2. But that's where I grew up, and that's where I learned a lot about life. I went to a 1-room schoolhouse in Duncan as well, 8 grades, and that was fairly unique, I must say. And we walked to school, which is a long way, and rode a bicycle once we learned how to do that. In really bad weather, we would get a ride.
I remember the winters, my goodness, snow, and everybody, if they did have a car, which was very few, they put them up on blocks for the winter because the roads were never plowed. It was all horse and team and sleigh. There was always rivalries, yes. Yes, in the early 50s, the Duncan ladies had another ball team. I played, I was first base. Anyway, they played in a pasture field, and you had to watch for the cow droppings when you were running. But anyway, it drew crowds from all over, and we played teams from Red Wing, Clarksburg, Heathcote, and for a couple of summers we had great fun. But then that sort of phased out again.
Yes, I came into Thornbury quite often and visited my grandparents. Both of my grandparents lived in Thornbury, both sides of the family.
There's a little creek flows through Duncan right between the Orange Hall and the store. And in the winter, there's a level flat down there, and they would flood the flats beside the creek to make it rink. And back then, they had carnivals, and people from the other communities would enter in because there was prizes for the best costume and the best skater. And I know my mother thought it was wonderful, you know, she was a good skater, and she said they had lanterns hung in the trees and everything. The old timers worked hard, but they still had fun. The church, one church is still there, and it's now Airbnb, and as well as the general store is still there, but it's been renovated. My great-grandfather built it. So at one time, you know, back when it was first built, everything was there. They had dry goods, they had tools, they had shoes, they had groceries, everything, you know. We lived there then. We moved from the farm down to live at the store. And yes, I worked there. That was back when a customer would come in with a list and hand it to you, and you'd go and gather up everything. And then you'd get your pencil and paper and figure up the bill. Back when I graduated high school in 1950, teachers were so scarce that they took people out of grade 13 just went right to teach. You didn't go to school or anything. So I did. I started teaching. I taught in total about 7 years. The schoolhouse is still there, but it's been renovated now to a residence. And after it closed, like the schools all closed in 1968 it was. They were all bussed into Thornbury. And it became our community center then. And for years we had all kinds of events there, you know, at the community center, dances and parties of all kinds, card parties. And then when they closed that in 2011, that kind of was the death knell of the community.
Thank you for joining us. If this story resonated with you, the journey doesn't have to end here. Please visit our online exhibits to explore the communities we just visited in much greater depth. You'll find a collection of original photographs, personal letters, and archival records that bring these voices to life in a way we couldn't capture on screen alone. Next time on Towns of the Blue Mountains.
It came from, again, my family, named it Craigleith. We understood it to mean Rocky Harbor.
In the 1970s, we developed modern snowmaking systems and we invested millions in snowmaking.